try to go together through the question and see where we could have made some errors.
Sure.
Are you able to see my shared screen?
Yeah, I can see this.
Okay. Okay, in the first part of the question, they wanted us to prepare a revised trial balance. I wanted us to prepare a revised trial balance. Yes. And if you have noticed, there was, I think there were two strange components in this trial balance. The issue of accruals,
okay,
and the provision for doubtful debts to be found in the trial balance. It is unique. During, I think, our bachelor level, I think it's rare to find provision for doubtful debts in the trial balance, and also accruals in the trial balance. So I think that was the two things that were new.
okay,
Treatment of provision for doubtful debts and accruals in the trial balance. I tried to reproduce the trial balance. Of course, it has given me a difference of 5,500. If you, are you able to see this figure here?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Usually, I was, after putting up everything, it was supposed to come to 0, meaning it would have balanced. So I tried to go through, tried to track the errors. I couldn't. So I left it this way. So what I did, maybe quickly, let's look at what I did. Then we'll look at what you have so that we see maybe the figures could balance. The sales was 1.6, which is a credit balance.
Yes.
Then the motor vehicle was 590. And an accumulated depreciation. Actually, this is supposed to be 31st. It should be 2019. This was supposed to be 2019. Accumulated depreciation as at 2019 was 77. Then we are told in the notes. We are told in the notes that the motor vehicle was depreciating using a straight line method of 25% per annum. So that's how we got the 147,500, 25% of 590,000. So this is the depreciation for the year that we are preparing there. The trial balance, which is 31st March 2020. Then we had the bank, which was 10,000, just as it was in the old trial balance. Distribution cost. Distribution cost in the old trial balance was 200,000. But we were told in the note, if you look at the question, note number 6, they are saying an amount of 40,000 kwacha for purchases had been debited to distribution costs. Mr. Mukubesa?
Yes, sir.
Are we together? The 40,000 that was.
Yes, I'm following.
Yes. The 40,000 was debited to distribution costs. I mean to purchases to distribution costs when it was supposed to be purchases. So that's why distribution cost has reduced from 40,000, from 200,000 to 160,000. Are you able to see the distribution costs?
Yes.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be 200,000 because the 40,000 was meant for purchases, not distribution. Okay, then trade debtors. Trade debtors for 90,000. That's how it was. We picked it. Of course, it has some adjustments that are coming. Then finance cost was 15,000. Income tax expense was 10,000. Building at cost was 1.5 million. Then again, this one should be as at 2019, not 2020. The accumulated depreciation as at 31st March 2019 or 1st April 2019, it was 350,000. Now we are told that is note 2, that building had an economic lifespan of 50 years. So for us to calculate depreciation, we divide the initial cost of the building by the lifespan. So if you divide 1.5 million by 50 years, it gives you 30,000 kwacha. So this is the annual depreciation. Are we able to proceed? Then in the initial trial balance, we had opening stock at 1st April 2019. Now, for me, what I did, I removed the component of opening stock and closing stock. What I did, I introduced cost of goods sold.
Okay.
Yes, so how do we calculate this? We said the opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. That's why in my trial balance, there's no opening stock,
Okay.
there's no purchases, and there's no closing stock. I've used it in here. That's what I did. So my opening stock in the trial balance is new. Then the share capital, which is a credit balance, 750. The accumulated reserve is 150. That's how it was. The long-term loan was 68,000. Plant and machinery at cost was 450. And as at 1st April 2019, it had an accumulated depreciation. This is 2019. It had an accumulated depreciation of 150. So we needed to calculate the depreciation charge for the year 20, ending 31st March 2020. So again, according to note 2, they are saying it is depreciating at 10% per annum. So I calculated 10% of 450,000, which is 45,000. This is the annual depreciation on plant and machinery. Then the trade creditors is 270. Accruals, this figure here, if you look in the given trial balance, the accrual figure was 30,000 kwacha. But if you go to note 3, you'll find that certain expenses that were accrued were not accounted for. Selling expenses of 10,000, salaries of 140,000, repairs and maintenance of 18,000. So if you add these accrued expenses that were not accounted for, they were giving me 168,000. Then I added to what was captured in the trial balance. That's how I got the 198,000. Then the provision for doubtful debts, I got it just the way it was.
I'd lost my internet.
Yeah, I've seen that I've lost you, so I had to pause a bit.
Oh.
Yes. Can we continue? Okay, so we were at the provision for doubtful debts, which was 50,000.
Yes.
Yeah. Then the component of the costs of goods sold, which I was explaining how I calculated it, opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. That's how I got the 535,000 as cost of goods sold. Then insurance. Insurance, if you look in the trial balance that was given, insurance was 45,000 kwacha. But we were told that 10% of this was prepaid. So what was the actual amount that was paid for insurance in that particular financial year? So I reduced this by 4,500. That's how I got the 40,500 and introduced a prepayment slot in the trial balance for 4,500.
Okay.
Yes. Then if you look at bullet point number 5, we are told that an amount of 20,000 due from a customer was considered unrecoverable. So I introduced the 20,000 as bad debts in the trial balance.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I did this, wow, it couldn't balance. It gave me a difference of 5,500. So maybe you can guide on how you approached the question.
I think, I don't know, maybe we go on the point where you were saying, let me try to enlarge this. The opening stock.
Yes.
Yes. Opening stock, closing stock, and the purchases.
Yes.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe you can go through that again. I think maybe that's where we could miss maybe 5,000 those.
Okay. If we look at the question, the question gave us an opening stock of 145,000.
Yes.
Then it gave us purchases of 430, but we are told that 40,000, which was debited to distribution cost, was supposed to be purchases. So meaning purchases became 470,000. Then the closing stock was at 80,000. So maybe if we try to add this and subtract this, 145,000 plus 470,000, then less 80,000.
145,000.
Yes, plus 470,000.
170,000.
Then subtract 80,000.
That is 600. That's 535,000.
It's giving us 535, not so?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Mukobesa.
Sir.
Just a minute. It seems one of our colleagues is saying he is waiting to be logged in.
Okay.
Okay, maybe just a minute. Let me just do this so that we see if we're able to accommodate. But unfortunately, we can't see him knocking.
Wasn't that my message? Or it's someone else?
No, it's you. It's you. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So basically, that's what is there. So, did you try to balance? Did it balance? Did yours balance?
Yours is actually closer.
Okay.
I had missed a lot of, especially when it comes to, is it depreciating?
Yes.
Depreciation.
Yes.
I had an issue there. Those percentages.
Yes.
So actually, this one, yours is even far closer to to balancing.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe we can look at the income statement.
Okay.
Okay. Let's try to look at the income statement and see how much was your profit for the year. Okay. Are you able to see the figures?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so the sales was 1.6. The cost of sales, as we calculated there, was 535.
Yes.
Which gave us a gross profit of 1,065,000. Yes. Then the expenses, I did some calculations down here.
Okay.
We have to deal with first the annual depreciations as we entered the military balance. Motor vehicle 147,500, building 30,000, plant and machinery 45,000. I found the total. Then I went to the accrual expenses. As we indicated in the trial balance, 168 plus distribution 160 and insurance 40,500. So when I added these, that's how I got total expenses of 591,000. And I subtracted from the gross profit to arrive at the operating profit of 474,000.
Okay.
Then I deducted this finance cost of 15,000 to arrive at a profit before income tax of 459,000. Then I paid income tax of 10,000 to remain with profit for the year of 449,000. That's what I did. So I don't know, sir, what was your gross profit?
Mr. Charles.
Yes, sir.
Let me be honest with you.
Yes, sir.
These things are very, very, very strange to me.
Okay.
Yeah, me, I'm from the medical field, so
it's like Greek now.
It's Greek, but I've been following just that every question that I attempt, there is always that small new thing in there.
Exactly.
So after, I think the difference between the debit and the credit on my balance sheet was giving me something like 11,000. That's why I was saying yours is actually closer to balancing.
Okay.
So my question was, even before I went down these other questions,
yes,
does it mean that if the trial balance doesn't balance, does it mean all the questions that are coming down wouldn't be correct?
Not really. Actually, in accountancy, that's what we encourage ourselves. The fact that a balance sheet has balanced or is not balanced does not mean you are 100% correct. There are certain errors.
Okay.
If you commit what are called contra errors, the balance sheet or the trial balance will balance, even if it is wrong. Okay. Therefore, the fact that the trial balance or the balance sheet has not balanced is not the proof or evidence that a person has failed everything. That's why when marking trial balance in accounting, we don't mark it as a whole.
Yes.
Yeah, the marking is per entry. It's possible due to mathematical errors, it can fail to balance even when the entries are correct.
I see.
Yes, so the issue is, have we posted correct entries? Even if it doesn't balance, that's the problem is less compared to make wrong entries.
No.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm sure Dr. Mumba was concerned of coming from different professional backgrounds. That's why he decided to put us in a group so that we're able to share ideas.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. No, we can still share ideas. So I'm sure that's why he came up with this idea. I'm just worried of our colleagues that are not here. I don't know how many are we?
We are supposed to be 4.
We are supposed to be 4. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. We will try to engage them. I'm doing a recording so that we're able to post to them so that they also listen and make comments.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, so basically that's the profit for the year that we are going with. Then let's look at the balance sheet and see how it looks like. We start with the assets and the non-current assets. Now there's a working here on how we came up with this net book value of the motor vehicle, buildings and the plant and machinery. Okay. If you noticed in here, we did some calculations. We did some workings. It should be here, okay? These issues of depreciation. So we are reducing these depreciations from the cost of the assets. So what we are doing is The motor vehicle had a value of 590,000. It came with a depreciation of 77. So we subtract 77. Then in the financial year ending 31st March 2020, it also suffered a depreciation of 147,500. So we are subtracting 590 minus 77 accumulated depreciation minus 147,500, the current year's depreciation. That's how it remained with a balance of 365,500. This figure here.
Yes.
Yes. So we did the same with the building. It came with 1,500,000, but it had an accumulated depreciation. Then it had a year's depreciation. So again, we are removing the accumulated depreciation of 350, and we're also subtracting the current year's depreciation of 30. That's how it remains at 1,120,000. Then plant and machinery came with a value of 450,000 with an accumulated depreciation of 150,000. Then in the financial year ending 31st March 2020, it lost 45,000. So it remained with 255,000. So this is how I calculated the total non-current asset figure of 1,740,500.
Okay.
Then I went to current assets. The current assets, we had the stock, which was closed and valued at 80,000 kwacha. Then we had debtors. If we look at debtors, in the trial balance, we were given 90,000, but we were told that there was a provision for bad debt of 50,000, and there was a bad debt of 20,000. So all this was coming from the 90,000, and we presented a 20,000 as the outstanding debt.
Okay.
Yes. Then we had a prepayment of insurance for 4,500. So this is the total current asset we had, which gave us 104,500. So we added to the non-current assets to find the value of total assets at 1,845,000 kwacha. That's how we calculated the total assets. And we moved to the equity and liability part of the balance sheet. Excuse me. So the equity, under equity, we have got capital, accumulated reserve, and profit for the year. That make up the equity. So our capital was 7,500, and our accumulated reserve was 140,000. And we made a profit for the year ending 31st March 2020 of 449,000. So when we added this, we got total equity of 1,339,000. Then we needed to bring in the liabilities, where we started with non-current liabilities of long-term loan of 68,000 and accruals, which is non-current liabilities now, accruals 168,000 and trade creditors of 270,000. Then we added these together to find 560,000. So when I added the total equity plus total liabilities, it gave me 1,845,000 as total equity and liabilities. And if you look at this figure and this figure,
Yeah,
it seems to be the same.
Yes.
So basically, that's how I did it. So for the balance sheet, it balanced, but as we discussed earlier, this is not the reason why we should celebrate. It could have balanced, though it had some errors here and there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So is there anything that you could want to comment over here before we go to the horizontal analysis? Or maybe
No,
let's look at yours.
actually...
How did it balance?
Sir, as I mentioned there, for me, actually, this is a serious learning here taking place.
Okay, okay. No, it's
Yes.
good that we're able to discuss these things so that I think once we share these ideas, they may be helpful as we are studying as individuals.
Yes, actually, after the recording is done, I would request for a recording so that as I go through the work again, I may need to refer to the recording. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's look at the horizontal analysis, how we did the analysis.
Okay.
Basically, horizontal analysis, we are dealing with the trend between the two given years that we have. So
yes.
This is the income statement for 2020, and this is the income statement for 2019. So I decided to create a table down here for the analysis. Then I put all the items that are found in the income statement here and their figures, and I performed the analysis using the other two columns here. So if you look at this, I inserted some formulas so that it was able to calculate it for me.
Okay.
So this amount here, which is 100,000, it is the difference between cell B16, which is this one here, minus cell C16, this one. Then it gave me this answer here. Then I performed the analysis. Again, I created the formula here, where the analysis is done between D16 divided by C16 multiplied by 100 for me to get the percentage, the sales percentage between the 2 years. 2019, the sales was 101.7. 2016, it was 1.6. So it reduced by 100 kwacha. How do we convert it to a percentage? This is 5.8% reduction in sales. That's how I was doing it. So usually once you set this one, if you drag this, it will put formulas throughout. All you need to do is just insert these figures. It will be calculating itself.
Okay.
Yes. So that's how I did the horizontal analysis.
So the last column is in percentage.
The last column is in percentage. Actually, this is our interest. Because we present the analysis.
Okay. Oh, I see. Percentage change. Okay.
Yes, percentage change, yes. Then the vertical analysis, we are dealing with, we are comparing, we need to identify the landmark. Like in this case, we were told, if you refer to the notes, he told us that here the landmark we are using is sales. So we are comparing everything in the income statement against sales.
Okay.
So that's how So here it is. We are trying to compare the cost of sales against the sales. So cost of sales divide by sales, multiply by 100. That's how I got this. Again, here what I did, I just created formulas so that it is able to calculate itself.
Okay.
So I had to insert in formulas. Then it started calculating from the top here. Since we are comparing everything against sales. So this is what I did. The cost of sales is B5 and the sales is B4. Then multiply by 100 so that it gives me the answer in percentage.
Okay.
So that we look at the formula that he gave us. Vertical analysis percentage is equal to each item statement in the statement divide by the net sales multiply by 100. So I just created formula, then it was able to calculate.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So basically, that's how I approached it myself.
Okay.
Maybe is there another way that we can add so that we need to agree when to send it? Of course, we need to engage our the two colleagues. Maybe using our WhatsApp, we can get their views.
Sure. I don't know when we are done with this meeting and then when we talk to the other two,
yes,
maybe they can suggest another day where, because I think there's a lot that I've gotten actually from this meeting.
Yes.
So I would suggest we go through, we go back again, we try to put a few things together. I think for me, I would want to try to have the first part, to have the balance balanced.
Yes.
I think I would need to go through each and every
item.
Yes, to see if we can have it balanced.
Okay.
I don't know what they would suggest.
Okay.
Or maybe we won't have time again to meet. I don't know.
The due date is what? 8th or 5th?
8th, yes.
8th.
8th. The fifth is management practice.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see if we engage them. Did you manage to do the last part? Yeah. The preparation of a report.
Preparation of a report, which is the F part.
Yes. Yeah, prepare a report on the
what I did.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe just as you have mentioned, you can have time to go through them and see, maybe we're able to trace where the error for the 5,500 is coming from.
Maybe, yes.
Okay. No, thank you very much for your commitments. I think we will try to engage our colleagues. Let me just wait for it to be converted to MP4. Then we'll agree how I can share the recording.
Okay, and then the F part, did you manage?
Yes, actually, I managed. I did a report. Yes, I have it. I managed to prepare the report. Yes.
Okay, so I don't know when would you suggest we come back and maybe go through one or two things?
Unfortunately, starting from today up to Friday, I usually have classes after 17.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to help some colleagues.
Okay.
So the only time I'm free is after 20 o'clock.
And then during the day you are busy.
During the day, maybe if you say 13 to 14, I can see if I can request my colleagues to spare me some few minutes.
Yes, maybe maybe even on a Friday or so, we can just spare a 30 minutes or 30 minutes to go through. I don't know what the others would suggest.
Okay, no, that would be better, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This has been very helpful.
No, you're welcome.
Management, just before we go.
Yes.
Management, first let me start with managerial economics. Have you submitted your hard copy?
Yes.
Oh, you are within Lusaka?
No, I'm in Livingstone. There was a lady who provided that service, said, send it to me, then I'll submit. So I think she did that on Thursday.
Okay. And then the management theory and practice?
I submitted on Thursday.
Okay, this is what I'm struggling with today, so that tomorrow I submit.
That's better. I tried to send it to Tenitin. Yeah, the first time it came, it was something else. So I had to sit down for 3 hours until it reduced it to 14%. Then I said it's fine.
Oh, all right. Okay, no, I'm sure I'll be done by the end of the day.
Please.
Sure.
Oh, then we'll link up on Friday.
Sure, sir. Thank you very much.
But if anything, we can still be chatting on our group. It's fine.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.